Today I'm going to show you how to prepare your portrait for the mural project. It's going to take a little bit of a long process, so I'm going to make a few different videos. This is the part 1 video. What you're going to do is make a new file. So go to File, New, in Photoshop, and we're going to make it the same size as our wood panel. So I'm going to name this Mural Project, and this is Brittany, so I'll put her name on it. And the width is 11, make sure this says inches, by the height 14 inches, and the resolution 72. I'm going to click OK, and Photoshop will make a blank document that's the same size as our wood panel. I'm going to take the Image tab and pull it to the side so that I can see both the portrait and the blank document at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and click the Move tool, which is the top tool in the toolbox, and make sure that Auto Select Layer is clicked. Make sure this doesn't say Group. You want it to change it to say Layer, and that Show Transform Control box is also checked. So I'm going to click on Brittany's portrait and drag it over to the blank document, and I'm going to close the portrait because I don't need it anymore. You can see, because of the difference between the resolution of the image and the resolution of the blank document, the portrait comes in quite large, so we're going to have to shrink it. So in order to see the edges of the portrait, I'm going to hold down Control and click the minus sign on the keyboard. The minus sign is located on the top number row. So I'm going to click that 3 or 4 times, and now I can see this dotted box around the edge of the portrait, and that's the edges of the portrait. So it is a little bit tricky to resize something without distorting it. What you don't want to do is grab the side handles and shrink the image with the side handles, because you can see what just happened to Brittany's face. It got squished and looks terrible and out of proportion. The same thing if I grabbed the middle handle on the top, then her face would get squished that way and look really bad. So we want to avoid distorting our faces because it's just not flattering. So I'm going to go up here to the right corner and click the cancel button so that I get the original portrait back the way it was. This time I'm going to do it correctly. I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt, and I'm going to drag towards the center and only use the corner handles. And that forces the portrait to remain proportionate. So I'm going to get it approximately where I think it should be, and then I'm going to move the portrait into place. I think it needs to be a little bit smaller. We do want everyone's portraits to be about the same size. We don't want some people to have gigantic heads and some people to have really tiny heads. We want everyone to be about average. So I'm going to have most of Brittany's shoulders showing, and then a little bit of space above her head showing. And that looks pretty good right there. So if we can all try to get our portraits around the same size, then that will look good. I'm going to go up here to the right corner and go ahead and click the check mark. That tells Photoshop that I'm done resizing this image now. And you can see that there's still a lot of the image left around the outside. And I'm going to go ahead and crop that off because we don't need that extra pieces of the image. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the crop tool, which is the 5th tool down in the toolbox, and just draw a box around this and hit enter, and now all that excess part of the image is cut off. To make this image fit back on the screen, I'm going to click Control 0, and now the next thing that we're going to do is add the threshold adjustment layer, but that's going to be video 2. So that's all for now.